So is this an arithmetic sequence or not? Again, let me define. Arithmetic sequence is a sequence whose consecutive terms have a common difference. So let's try to see if there is a common difference that exists between these sequences. So we have negative 30 minus 45. What is the common difference? Positive 15, right? Negative 15 minus negative 30, still positive 15. 0 minus negative 15, still positive 15. Therefore, the sequence is an arithmetic sequence. And the common difference is positive 15. Again, how did we get the common difference? Subtract the term by its previous. Again, subtract the term by its previous, and we will get to find the common difference. So in an arithmetic sequence class, you will then use the formula a sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus quantity n minus 1 times d. Wherein, d is the common difference, n represents the number of terms, and a sub n represents the nth term. Or sometimes it could be considered as the last term. Okay? So for example, we have here, find the formula for the nth term in an arithmetic sequence with a common difference of 5 and the first term is 3. So the formula is a sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus quantity n minus 1 times 3, where a the first term is 3 and the common difference is 5. So the formula gives you this one. Simply substitute 3 as the first term and 5 as the common difference. So to understand further the formula, let's have this example. Find the common difference or find the 10th term in the sequence if the common difference is 4 and the 5th term is 15. So from the formula, a sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. We need to determine the first term first. Diba? We need to determine the first term. Since our common difference is d, let us say that the 5th term will signify a sub n. So a sub 5 is equal to the first term plus, since a sub 5 notifies that n is equal to 5, so we have here as 5. 5 minus 1, quantity 4 is equal to 15. Klaro bang 15? Dili. Klaro lang 15? Okay. So a sub 5, which is equal to 15, is equal to a sub 1 plus quantity 5 minus 1 times 4, which is the common difference. So if you simplify it further, class, if you simplify it further, mo na siya ang itong may kamugunan eh. So we have here 15. The 5th term is equal to a sub 1 plus 5 minus 1 is 4 times 4 is 16. Transpose 16 on the other side, mahimong 15 minus 16 is equal to a sub 1. Therefore, a sub 1 is equal to negative 1. What is the value of a sub 1? So we have now the first term. We can now find for the 10th term. So using the formula, the 10th term of an arithmetic sequence using the formula a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d, and we already have the first term, which is negative 1, and then n is 10 as it is showcased in a sub n. So simplify that, substitute that in the formula. 10 minus 1 is 9 times 4 is 36, minus 1 is 35. So the 10th term in the sequence containing the common difference, which is 4, and the 5th term is 15, is 35. It's just that in this problem, the given is the 5th term. But if we already have the given, which is the first term, it's just easy for us to determine already what is our 10th term. Question. So if you have a clarification, class, feel free to unmute yourselves. To find the sum of the arithmetic series or to find the sum of the arithmetic sequence, we use the formula, the arithmetic sum or the sum of an arithmetic series is equal to n over 2 quantity 2 times the first term plus n minus 1 times d. Or you can just have the formula, the number of terms multiplied by the first term and the last term divided by 2. You can use that formula as well, or you can use the formula below. They're just the same class. Kaya pwede naman na siya since if you're going to simplify the formula, which is n over 2 quantity, this one, siya, that's just a sub 1 plus a sub 1 quantity n minus 1 times d, di ba? Kay, wait siya, this is plus here. Since twice of a sub 1 is a sub 1 plus a sub 1. And notice that this formula is the formula for a sub n. That is why we can simplify the formula as the sum of the first term and the last term divided by 2 times the number of terms. Or this one. If my annotation is not clear. Do I have students here? Naririnig ba ako?
Yes, sir.
Yun. Very good. So please tell me if I'm not audible because I cannot see your faces from time to time. Kasi naka-share screen ako. Let's proceed with an example class. Here's an example. Find the sum of the first 100 terms of the arithmetic sequence. So the first 100 terms of the sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, dot, is equal to, since we know that the first term is 1 and the last term probably there is 100, so we can just simply use the formula n times the first term plus the last term divided by 2. Since n is 100, so the last term probably is 100. Huh? So we have here 100 times 1 plus 100 divided by 2, which is 101 divided by 2 is 50.5 times 100. So the sum of the first 100 terms is equal to 5,050. This is always my favorite question in a math quiz. Easy question. What is the sum of the first 100 terms in the arithmetic sequence? The answer is 50-50. Dali na mag siya memorize. Arithmetic means, class, is simply defined as inserting a number between two terms. If you are going to insert only two numbers, you can just simply use the formula a plus b divided by 2. The average of the first two terms and then insert it in the um, or like for example, what is the arithmetic mean between two numbers? So just add the two numbers divided by 2. That is the value to be inserted in the middle. But if you are going to insert more than one term, let's say insert 3 arithmetic means between 2 and 9, you have to consider the formula already. Okay? So since you have here the last and the first term, you can apply that to the formula. How about we solve this one? So since we have here the first term and the last term, we can substitute that in the formula as in this case, we have here 9 is equal to 2 plus, how many terms are there in the sequence? 5. So we have 5 minus 1 times the common difference is unknown. So let's try to find the common difference. 9 minus transpose 2 on the other side. So we have 9 minus 2 is equal to 5 minus 1 is 4D. 9 minus 2 is 7. Tama ba? So 7 divided by 4 is equal to your common difference. So the common difference is 7 over 4. So ito nang i-add dire. So 2 plus 7 over 4. So lang i-try. 2 plus 7 over 4 is
15
equal
over
to
4.
15 over 4. So ang second term mo is 15 over 4. plus the same value,
11 over 2.
11 over 2.
Yeah.
We have 11 over 2, the third term,
29 over
and
4.
then 29 over 4, and then the last value is 9. Yeah. Okay. So this example class says that the common difference may end up with a fraction. You will not expect that all answers are an integer. You can also have the common difference to be a fraction. Get it? Questions? An explicit formula in a sequence shows how to calculate the value of the next term provided that you know what term will that be. For example, the 10th term, the 7th term, uh, 8th term. What that's explicit function formula. The formula for explicit, the formula to find the explicit value is a sub n. But when you talk about recursive formula, you just have to know the common difference because it is a recurring sequence of numbers. So as an example, you have here a recursive pattern 7, 11, 14. So the common difference there is 4. You can determine the next number in the sequence because this is a recursive example. But if you know that there is a dot, 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 and you're going to find the nth term, that is already the explicit formula or explicit notation. But the terminologies or the the names may not be important, but as long as you know how to determine the formula for the nth term, then that's what matters most. Question? In my understanding before in arithmetic sequence class, it's just that I look at it as a common number to be added to the previous term to get the next number. No? So there's a pattern there. But when you talk about the other sequence, which is geometric sequence, if we have a common difference for arithmetic, in geometric, we have a common ratio. Again, if we have a common difference for arithmetic, in geometric, we have a common ratio. And it is noted by a letter R. Ang common difference, letter D, manasiya. Common ratio is R. How will you get the common ratio, class? You are going to get the common ratio by dividing the number by its former, no? Dividing the number by its previous value or dividing the number and the number before it. Something like that. Okay? So for example, here, the common ratio of number 1 is 2. How did we get 2? 2 divided by 1 is 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 8 divided by 2 is 2. And 16 divided by 8 is 2. And that common ratio will also be the value that we need to use in order for us to find the next three the next three numbers in the sequence. So what do you think will be the next number after 16? You multiply it with the common ratio. 16 times 2 is 32, so the next here is 32, 64, and 128. Similarly, in the second example, the common ratio could be a fraction. Since if you divide 9 by 27, the result is 1/3. 3 by 9, the result is 1/3. 1 by 3, the result is 1/3. So the common ratio is 1/3. So on with number 3 and number 4. So we have here an example. Find the next term in each of the previous sequences. 1, 2, 4, 6, and 8. So the answer here is 32, 64. Mga siya ang mga answer, class. Because the common ratio a while ago was 2. So 16 times 2 is 32. And then number 2, the common ratio is 1/3. So the next sequence is 1/3 times 1/3 is 1/9. Then number 3, the common ratio is 2. So 48 times 2 is 96. And 8 times -2 is -16. Okay. There's a sequence here, class, and you guess what type is it? Number 1, 3, 8, 13, 18, 23. What is this one? Arithmetic, geometric.
Arithmetic.
This is arithmetic because you have a
Plus
common
5.
difference, plus 5. You have a common difference of 5. Oh, simple as plus 5, correct. Number 2,
Geometric.
Geometric.
geometric because you have a common ratio which is
2.
2. Oh, na-answer key.
Two.
Na-answer key yung skilled ha. Number 3. Nakita niyo ang answer key sa kilid?
Yeah.
Very good. Number 3,
Geometric.
geometric because the
Divided by
ratio is
Geometric.
1
2.
half. Nara diri skilled,
1/2.
tanawa lang. Then, number 4 is arithmetic. The common difference
4.
is negative 4 and not 4. Number 5 is neither, and number 6 is neither. It's neither. So, ako nagiwala ang answer kay ano mo kita. This is the answer kay a while ago that you happen to see.
We cannot see that, sir.
Ha?
We did
Oh.
not.
What din niyo nakita? Ako nag-show ganina. Ako nag-show. Kana, gishow na nako. Wala?
We can see now. Okay, it's on that page. This one, it's the page before.
Wala din nakita.
You only see one page at a time.
Okay, so let's proceed with the formula for arithmetic sequence is this one. But for geometric, the formula is this one, class. A sub n times the common ratio raised to the power of n minus 1. So if you're going to find the nth term in the explicit function, you have the formula a sub n is equal to the first term multiplied by the common ratio raised to the power of n minus 1. Let's proceed with an example in your module, Be. Try an example in your module.
The remaining 3 will be with the rice hull fertilizer.
For a while, ha?
You will not anymore go with.
So this one, class, is really an easy lesson. I hope so. So I hope that you'll have a good score in the upcoming summative test of this lesson. So we have here an example for geometric sequence. Find the seventh term in the sequence, class. So if you're going to find the seventh term in the sequence 6, 18, 54, and 162, let's first find the common ratio. The common ratio is 18 divided by 6 is 3. 54 divided by 18 is 3. So the common ratio is 3. To find the seventh term, let's just apply the formula. A sub 7 is equal to the first term, which is 6, raised to the common ratio or multiplied by the common ratio, which is 3, raised to the power of 7 minus 1, since here n is 7 as noted by the seventh term. Simplify it further, 3 to the power of 6 is 729 plus 6 is 4,000. Times 6 is 4,374. So dali, Rasia.
How much more will it be for parents who don't live?
Find the eighth term, still the same. We have the common ratio, which is 1/2. Raise that common ratio to the power of the number of terms minus 1. You'll get the eighth term to be 0.75. This might be easy because we have a calculator with us, right? And the formula for the sum of the terms in the geometric series is noted by this formula. If the formula for the sum of the arithmetic series is n over 2, quantity 2 to the power 2 times a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d, the formula for the geometric series or the sum of the geometric series is the first term multiplied by 1 minus r raised to the power of n over 1 minus r. Ini ang formula na to. Example, what is the sum of the first of the sequence below here? So the common ratio would be 4, right? 4 divided by 1 is 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4. But in this case, you add the niya diretso, right? How about let's apply the formula?
See for yourself the experimentation done by the.
So applying the formula, we have first term is 1 times the common ratio is 4. So we have here 1 minus 4 to the power of 5 over 1 minus 4. 1 minus 4 to the power of 5 is 1,200, 1,023 negative. Divided by 1 minus 4 is negative 3. So the answer is positive 341 times 1, which is 341, which is also the same result when you add directly the numbers. Something like this.
And in the meantime, we'll be taking pictures. We'll be taking
So you have here the activities that is presented
documentation
for your computation.
Take a picture of the materials that you're using. or whatever it is that you are using before you actually start.
So that's the formula for geometric series. So here are examples. This sample problem tells you that find the first four terms and state whether the sequence is arithmetic or geometric. In pre-calculus, we call this mathematical induction class. So perhaps we need not to answer this one, but for argument's sake, how to answer problems like this, we just have to substitute n to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1, 2, 3, pwede rin gani. Or you can substitute n to be 1, to be 2, to be 3, to be 4. So number 1, if your n is 1, so you have 1 times 3 is 3 plus 2 is 5. If your n is 2, 2 times 3 is 6 plus 2 is 8. If your n is 3, 3 times 3 is 9 plus 2 is 11 and so on. 4 times 3 is 12 plus 2 is 14. So if you notice that the sequence is 5, 8, 11, 14, there's a common difference of 3. So number 1 is arithmetic. In number 2, the a sub n, n squared plus 1. So let's substitute 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 squared is 1 plus 2 is 2. 2 squared is 4 plus 2 is 5. 3 squared is 9 plus 1 is 10. 4 squared is 16 plus 1 is 17. So if you notice, you don't have a common difference. 5 minus 2 is 3. 10 minus 5 is 5. Nor you have a common ratio. 5 divided by 2 is 5 halves. 10 divided by 2 is 2. So therefore, this is neither. Number 3, substitute 1. 2 to the power of 1 is 2 times 3 is 6. 2 to the power of 2 is 4 times 3 is 12. So this is a geometric series because the presence of a common ratio is present to the number 6. 12 divided 6 is 2. 24 divided 12 is 2. So this is a common ratio to through to the sequence. So more examples of arithmetic, geometric. So much with this one. I think these are found in the module class. So let's look at the module then. So we have here examples of the lesson for arithmetic sum and geometric sum. So as with the nth term of the geometric and the arithmetic sequence. Questions? Clarifications with the lesson? So in activity 1, you just have to find the next number in the sequence. Whether this is arithmetic or geometric, you have to find a way to know it. And how will you do it then? Just find the pattern. If there is a common sum or common difference, if there is a common difference or common ratio, then have it calculated. If there is no common ratio or common difference, find the pattern. Because it could be a simple, it could be a sequence, not an arithmetic nor a geometric. How about the sequence class? Example. Wala pa ni time, no? You're done with your class, sir. Okay, 1, 1, 1, 3, 5, 9. What's the next number in the sequence? Because I might give you a sequence of numbers without any connection to arithmetic and geometric in the exam this Friday or this Saturday. What could be the next number in the sequence class? Anyone who wish to share the answer, kindly unmute yourselves. Yes, Crisel?
17.
Say Tintin.
17.
17. So this is 17. Sunod.
31.
Yes, Troy, your answer
31.
is 31. And the next one is 57.
7.
Very good. So this sequence class is actually known as the Fibonacci sequence. And this is in connection with the Fibonacci a while ago. When you talk about Fibonacci, you add the previous two to get the next number. But in a Tribonacci sequence, you add the first three to get the next number. Ganun lang. What else? What is the next letter in the sequence? The next three letters in the sequence. JFMA, blank, blank, blank.
MJJ.
MJJ. May, June, July. So these are the ano. So simple sequences that is probably common to us, but we cannot find the answer because as common as it is, we tend to forget it, right? So please bear with. Please also look at it in a wider scale, not in a scale as arithmetic and geometric. Question regarding the lesson. So I will see you then by Thursday so that we can discuss the answers of your activities 1, 2, and 3 for the module. You can use the remaining time answering the items in our module for today. So can we end the call at an earlier time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that would be all for today. Thank you for your attendance. Goodbye, everyone. See you Thursday for the checking of your module. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.